it's time to vote, yet it's not with when they're voting on all these other people, right? So there are a dozen ways to skin this cat, but absolutely it's important to get voter turnout. And there's other things that states do differently. For example, Missouri is one of 11 states that elects a governor who then appoints the State Board of Education members, who then appoint the Commissioner of Education. Commissioner of Education is very important because they run DESE, the Department of Education. Other states, there's 4 different models, and other states have different models where the people elect the governor, they also elect the Commissioner of Education. You see what I mean? And then there's a different model where the people elect the Board of Education and the governor, but the commissioner is then appointed by the board. So there's many, many different models. Mississippi has its own model, right? Completely unique to itself. So I think that if we want to be successful, that's one of the, when you're not the leader in the pack, because we're not a leader in the pack still, we're doing it in spring and summer like many other states. But there's an advantage to that, because now we can look at all the other states and say, what did they do? And what's the best combination to get you the highest voter turnout, but not dilute the issues on the ballot, right? We are at a crossroads where I hope that our legislators will take this matter under consideration. Again, because I think it's worth changing it up. And at the end of the day, if you wanted to ask me how are we going to turn voter turnout up without moving elections? That was your idea of maybe move the elections. Well, at the end of the day, with a really, really heavy heart, I have to say that until people suffer the consequences of not getting out and voting, there's nothing we can do for them. This is a free society. We don't force anybody to do anything. People have their own free will. And until they've been robbed 3 times in 1 year and their car's been broken into 5 times in a month, they'll think, maybe I need to go look at who I'm voting for city council, right? I'm just generically talking about, at some point, people are going to wake up, but we're doing everything we can to help with that, but we can't, we have to acknowledge that.
So it has been said that low voter turnout is a vote for status quo. That's what I don't know if I buy that, but there's got to be a non-zero percentage of people who are like, well, so long as my house isn't burning down, things
It
are
means
fine.
you're fine and you don't care.
Team?
So this is for both of you. Considering the diverse political perspectives within the school board, how do you guys navigate disagreements to ensure that decisions are made in the best interest of all the students in Springfield? Whichever ones go first.
Read that again.
Okay.
I'll go with a 10-second answer.
Everybody has different beliefs, different values. How do you guys make sure that you're working together as a team to make sure that we're keeping in mind all of the students in Springfield?
I think the best way to do this is to keep our focus on our goals and our strategic plan. If we keep a focus on our goals and our strategic plan, and we continue to update and revise and observe what's going on in our district and keep our plans and our goals up to date, and if we are all focusing on those goals and those things that we've set as goals, I think that we have a better opportunity to align if we do that. That's the simple answer.
I would say that there's no such a thing as over-communication. We represent the public. Communicate. Be out there, talk. And then stay firm on your convictions and be candid and respectful.
So kind of building off of that, because you guys do work so closely with the community being local, how do you handle situations where neighbors or parents strongly disagree with the decisions that you help make?
It's bound to happen. We live in a society where we have a lot of people with different values, perspectives, ideas, and we're not always going to agree. There was a time when that was okay, that you just disagreed and you said, hey, we disagree. But unfortunately now that tends to lead towards violence or disruptions or lots of other things. I think that we have to get back to a place of civility where we can listen and disagree and move on, and make a decision to move forward in the future with maybe a different vote, or more, maybe different levels of engagement or involvement, instead of just trying to blow up at one another. But for me, at least, I tend to just try to listen and move on and say, I hear your point, and move on, because there's nothing I can do to change that thing right now, and we just don't disagree, we just don't agree.
Dr. Mohammadkhani, you said recently that this past election got a little colorful for you in terms of voters approaching you. How do you navigate that when that happens?
Well, I have a very thick skin now. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're an elected public official, that's par for the course. I didn't think that I was ever going to get doxxed and egged my home and things of that nature. I mean, it's unfortunate. I just hope that board members can stay respectful towards each other, because at the end of the day, we are only in control of our speech and the way that we treat people. And so I might say something that, for example, this gentleman here, I remember you because you interviewed me 2 years ago, I don't know if you remember. I'm going to use the best tone that I can and treat him with the most amount of respect that I know how to. I'm not in charge of how he interprets my actions and my speech. And I think we have to just accept that I might say something and he'll think that I was disrespectful, and you just have to move beyond that.
Let's open, anybody have any thoughts? We do have time for a couple questions. We'll just keep rolling the tea. Any thoughts for our presenters? Yes?
Hey, real quick, for my students that were a couple minutes late, can you repeat your names and your position for them?
My name is Shurita Thomas-Tate. I'm a professor at Missouri State University, and I'm on my second term on the school board.
My name is Maryam Mohammadkhani. I'm a member of the Springfield School Board, and I have some cards. If you want, I can give them to you so you can see the spelling of my name in case this is an assignment or something.
Thoughts or questions for our local electeds? Go ahead and do the best you can to speak up, please.
Okay. So I apologize, I'm actually not a part of the Springfield School District. But I noticed you said that you felt that state government and the national government should kind of nose out, and that they have requirements that they like the civics exam and the personal finance. So you said that the students, you know what they're supposed to be getting, but they're not getting those things out of it. What are you doing in your school district to make sure that they're getting the things that you know the state wants, and to meet the state where they're at, rather than kind of fighting it, I guess?
The question, just for people that will later be watching this on a recording, a great question, says that when you want the state government to nose out of your more local board-based business, what are you doing to swim with the grain rather than overtly resist? Dr. Thomas-Tate, would you like to take the lead first?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that that these standards are all bad and all wrong. I do think that it does offer something for some students. I think some students are successful in it. I think that some programs are successful in teaching it. I think that there are some curriculum that are better at it. I think that there are students who leave with some information that's beneficial. So I don't think it's a wholesale bad. As far as what to do to make it better or different, I think that, again, does have to happen at the local level, that we're making sure that what we are providing to students is of quality. And if we provide quality products, then hopefully we get quality outcomes.
100% agree with her, and I just want to be clear. I did not mean to say Springfield Public Schools wasn't doing a good job. I have kids not in public schools, and I don't think they're doing a good job with those 2 courses. But in order to get a diploma that's in the state of Missouri, my kids had to take those 2 courses. I think they did a really good job with the civics course. I don't think they did a good job with the personal financial disclosure, because they allowed them to take them between the summer between 8th and 9th grade online. And I'm sorry, but you're not getting very much out of that course. So in no way was I bashing our district, but I'm talking to other board members from other districts. How do we solve it is exactly what Dr. Thomas-Tate said. which is to find it, acknowledge it, and then try to locally get the best product. Yes, we want to check that box off, but what is the best way that we can do it? And so I feel like as one board member, my job is to listen to the parents and to the teachers who may have concerns, and then take those concerns to the district and say, hey, is there a better way that we can do this? Because this is what I'm hearing. So that's what I can do as a board member, convey as the ambassador.
Okay, so I'm gonna finish this up.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Oh.
Okay, so we're gonna finish this up. What do you both think that is the biggest challenge facing public education today? You can choose locally or nationally, or you can do both. It's a big loaded question, but.
Okay.
Repeat.
What do you think is the biggest problem facing public education today? Locally, nationally, both? Your
Okay.
floor.
I think the biggest issue that we have is a willingness to have a shift in paradigm. And that shift is the ability to be visionaries and not just have a vision. I hear so often, this is everywhere. Drugs are everywhere. Vaping is everywhere. It's at every high school. The decline in public education is not unique to us. It's all over the state. It's all over the nation. And I think that's what we have to overcome. I think a real visionary, which is what I strive our district to be, is to push against that. In every situation, greatness comes from rising above that and challenging that and saying, why can't we be the first ones to break that cycle? Why do we have to go along with it? If everybody else, if tomorrow, are we gonna let minors drink alcohol when we know it's bad? Because, well, they're doing it anyway. And so I think that the biggest challenge is to break out of that mold of the cultural shift. We can't do anything about student behaviors or about the culture, because that's the culture. And I think the biggest obstacle is to reframe our minds to saying the culture begins in our schools, and we have the power to change the culture outside of the schools by indeed having higher academic and behavior expectations. Because if we can change behaviors in our schools, I think we have the power to change behavior outside of our schools.
Dr. Thomas-Tate, bring us home.
Yeah, I have a way that I say it quite often, is that we need more we instead of me. And I have a nonprofit that I run, it's called UGIBA, and UGIBA stands for Collective Work and Responsibility. Educating our children is the responsibility of all of us. We have to work more collectively for the good of all kids, not just my kids. I don't want just what's good for me and mine. I want what's good for all, and sometimes that requires that we think differently than what we've been thinking, because oftentimes we want what's best for me and mine instead of what's best for ours. As the United States of America, it should be more we and less me, and that's the biggest challenge facing, I think, our educational system, is that there's a whole lot of me and not enough we.
All right, I want to thank everybody for being able to come out and join us today. Real quick, if I'm a concerned constituent, what's the best way to reach it? Best way to reach it, Doctor?
I have cards. It has email, phone number.
Best way to reach it?
I don't have cards on me, but I'm on Missouri State's website. You can go to Shurita Thomas-Tate, Missouri State website, or if you Google my name, it's kind of, both of us have unique names. You're going to find us, and there's lots of ways to connect with us through either the school district or through our individual information.
All right, round of applause for our distinguished Enjoy the picnic today, get some free food, and if you're back at noon, we're talking to state legislators. If you're back at 2, we'll be talking to Eric Burrows.
And if you want to communicate with all board members, you can send one email to boardcommunications@sbs.org, and all the board members will get it. So it's such an easier way than sending it to 7 different people, and the superintendent will get it too.
Thank you.
This is Jenny's son. Hi. This is Jane. Well, a lot of them, yeah. I don't have a lot of them. Hi, Kevin.
Anyway, I'm glad I got to be part of it anyway.
That was good.
Yeah. So what is going on today?
They are very much so, I can tell you that.
Like the stories you can imagine.
Well, the newspaper has a fourth grade level, so it's not like when we say they have a low reading level. The regular news, newspaper organizations, what you read in magazines, that's a fourth grade level. So again, it is, you have to understand what the news is saying and how it's going to sensationalize. Yeah, we can have some people low basic, and basic is fourth grade. Yeah. Yes. Proficient is like high school. Yes. No. Fourth grade is basic. No, basic is fourth, which is what a lot of basic media is in fourth grade. Exactly, it is meant to be that way.
Okay, so when they say like, oh, 50% of Americans
Or below basic, they're below fourth grade.